Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse hasn't even hit theaters yet.
Doink. But
we're already getting a sequel and a spin-off. We're here to talk about it. Even before its hit release, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is not even in general theaters yet.
It's projecting gross sum of money larger than America's GDP.
There you go.
It's gonna save us, guys.
But here's the thing. They've already announced that they're working on a sequel and a spinoff.
Yeah, and then I think there's a 20-movie plan after that one. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute.
They're talking about at least 2 more movies. We're talking about 1 sequel to Spider-Man's, which is really cool, and we have a lot of very fun creators that are attached to that. But first, we'll just talk about that. Yeah, that's probably going to be Miles-centric still, which would be really keep that going, keep that train going, because I can't wait to do the review, guys. If you're watching this on YouTube, go watch the review. You're dumb if you haven't watched it yet.
You're so dumb.
You're so dumb if you haven't watched it yet. But
thanks for joining us. You're so dumb.
We appreciate it. But also, the other movie they're talking about is a Spider-Gwen centric movie. Spider-Gwen,
which she was a standout in the movie as well,
played by Hailee Steinfeld. Yes. She's great, and she's gonna be in Bumblebee. That's great too. Probably, hopefully that movie's good. Hopefully,
it looks fun.
Sure, hope so.
Yeah.
But they're talking about her being joined by a different kind of ensemble lady spider people.
Yes.
Spider-Women.
Yeah, Spider-Women,
and
if you
girls. There's a couple girls in there too.
SpiderWoman Into the Spider-Verse.
There you go. Who are the spider people we're thinking we're going to see?
It's looking like we're going to get a Jessica Drew. When I first read this story, there weren't any specific spider ladies mentioned. But it looks like we're going to be getting a Jessica Drew. It looks like we're going to be getting a Spider-Girl, Mayday Parker. Which would be great. I'm a fan of that character.
Yeah. They threw out Spider-Girl, Mayday Parker as like top, but then they threw out like Aranya as well. Like they were like, cool. Maybe like because she has a cooler look. I think.
I'm interested that they're not mentioning what is it, Penny from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
The one with Spider. The mech. That would be smart.
Yeah,
that would be smart.
But and also Madam Webb, which I, of course, being the person I am, I assumed like old woman Madam Web that was in the 90s cartoon, but there is the second Spider-Woman became the new Madam Web, so it might be that.
Oh, that's confusing to keep up with. That
happened, I think, on the first SpiderVerse crossover.
Of course it does. Yeah. Of course, it's hard to keep up.
Let's dive into just so you know, the person that's in talks currently to direct that is Lauren Montgomery.
That's the Spider-Man. Oh, that's the Spider-Women movie.
One. And along with her to be talking about the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse sequel is Joaquin Dos Santos. Both of those people you might know from Voltron. I know Joaquin also worked on Legend of Korra, and I believe Lauren Montgomery might have worked. She's directed a ton of stuff. And Joaquin Dos Santos as Legend of Korra, Avatar, Justice League Unlimited. He's fantastic.
Oh yeah,
some of my favorite. He directed some of my favorite episodes of Justice League Unlimited.
You pointed out that his direction of action, when it comes to like animation, it's limitless what you can do. But there's a lot of movies like, hey, for me, the DC animated movies, they're kind of boring to me because they kind of feel like plain. There's not too much happening, but with like his specific his DC animated properties.
Yeah, when I was rewatching Justice League Unlimited and I saw an action sequence, I'm like, that's actually amazing.
Yeah, he nails it. Like,
it would end up being he directed it.
And but like it's just that he knows how to use the space and not go not just like shotgun anything out there. It's like, no, it's very calculated and specific, but it's also limitless in what he can do. And like I think Korra is the best example of that, and Avatar, where it's like, they're going to be using all these elements, there's strict rules, but he can really play with what he's able to how the world works.
Both of them are two very talented directors, and of course we don't know any specifics about the sequel yet because the movie's just coming out. I'm going to be honest with you, having seen the movie, my initial reaction was like, hell yeah, all of it, give me all of it.
Yeah.
As I sobered up the next morning, it's
that sugar rush of that movie.
I realized and we're going to be reviewing it later. If you're catching this on YouTube, it's probably already up. The part of what made it so exciting was how fresh it was.
Yeah.
We hadn't really seen a movie like this. Like it's the origin story and the big crossover all in one movie. We're going to town. You know what I mean?
Actually, they did like Avengers Phase 1 in one movie.
Yeah, with the Iron Man origin in there too. Yeah, ready to go. And
they nailed it.
Yeah, so the idea of like let's have like it's only a sequel and a spinoff. But because it's Sony and all the other stuff talking about, you know that there's like all these plans. It's just like don't keep it fresh. If it's not fresh, don't do it. You know what I mean? If you're not coming up with new ways, new takes on it, new stuff, because on paper, even though one of these is a spinoff, It sounds like the same movie. It's a bunch of spider people from multiple universes teaming up to stop something.
And they kind of had the perfect reason for everything happening in this one.
Yeah.
They did kind of, whatever. They can make whatever reason.
And there is stuff to pull from, because obviously there have been 2 SpiderVerse crossovers. So there's stuff to pull from.
Yeah.
It just makes me nervous, because when you kind of keep returning to the well, it kind of like, it loses some of its specialness, you know?
And
that's it. That's my only concern. On paper, I want all of it.
But also, it is Spider People. Spider-Man is always going to be fun to watch and everything, but it is just it's like a lot of the same.
People, like with the Avengers, they all have different abilities.
Yeah.
This is all essentially variations on the same person. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so it's like it makes me nervous, even though I honestly do want more. But again, if they can bring that type of, like, these creators, Lauren Montgomery and Joaquim Dos Santos, I trust them a lot. If they can keep bringing that fresh creative energy, because that was part of what made it so cool. It felt like rediscovering something for the first time. You know
I would love specifically, I would love a Spider's Man to show up in there. The newly introduced Spider-Gwen.
Let's have fun with it. Don't try and make it like a dark swamp thing thing. No, just have it be as fun and creepy.
As creepy as, for everyone who doesn't know, Spider's Man is a bunch of spiders that think they're Peter Parker wearing a suit, and they're just like spiders just spilling out of them. It's a nightmare. It is a nightmare. It's so scary.
But if you play it right, it could be a hilarious nightmare.
Oh, he's so fun. And there's so many, like, and like Superior Spider-Man's a fun one to play with too. Cool costume.
Although that's kind of challenging to introduce all the mechanics of that.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I mean, they did it for Miles. Miles actually, there's a bunch of steps you need to get through to get to Miles, and they figured it out. So
actually, there's a couple of those characters. I think Penny specifically, where it's like, but then you accept it and you move on for how, like, it works. You could do that. You could do like alternate. Here's Superior Spider-Man.
But are you looking forward to these movies?
Yes. When it comes to the Spider-Woman, I also want to see Silk. That's a big one. Jessica Drew, Spider-Gwen, and Silk did a crossover, Spider-Woman crossover, which was fun. Yeah. They all went to Gwen's Earth, which was really cool. Yeah. And they got to see, like, their versions of, like, Doc Ock and, like, what that version's Earth of Cindy Moon's doing, and, like, it's the way they built out that world was really cool. But also, it's a blank slate. Do whatever you want. Have fun with those characters. And I love that in some of the trailers you see for Spider-Verse, you see, like, nods to, like, Jason Latour's, like, teams, their art for that character, and bring it to life. Like, I want to see more of that world.
Yeah, and Gwen for me was a standout in this movie. Hailee Steinfeld was great at it, and also she has the coolest spider costume. That's what I'm saying.
The hood's pretty
like, Miles
cool.
is cool, but Gwen Stacy's costume is like rad.
They finally got it. Yeah, they finally figured it out. Yes. It's really good. For a SpiderVerse crossover, though, I think you want for how. Yes, like when you talk about the like they went pretty deep here when it came to references to other, like, things with Spider-Man. Go crazy. Do the mech one. Do the one from the Japanese Spider-Man.
And you could do, that'd be great. Yeah. And I would imagine for sequels and stuff like that, you could dive into Morlun and the Inheritors and all that stuff. Although I don't think they're the most fun characters. But I kind of want just I instead of, like, the group stuff. I mean, it makes it different, but it's like I want to see more of Miles being Miles. Miles as Spider-Man, or Gwen Stacy as Spider-Woman. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know. We'll see. But I think I'm excited about it.
I'm at least interested. They have my money for at least one of those movies.
Oh yeah,
maybe both.
I mean, definitely. I definitely want to check out both. I just Sony, don't get ahead of yourself.
Yeah, hey, Lego movie and Lego Batman movie, both very good movies. Yeah, they're different enough, and, like, a lot of people were connecting, like, Lego Batman to the Spider-Verse movie
because of the creative team involved and all that stuff.
It's crazy that they both made both of these movies from 2 different comic book companies, but good for you, Phil Lord. Like, if they can just kind of follow that trend a little bit, have the fun the Lego movies have.
Stories to tell, you know what I mean? And you're not just, like, trying to milk a brand, which is what you're trying to do. But as long as you have stories to tell with that, I'm all for it.
Spider-Verse is such a new story. All these characters are so new. They're just... You got it, guys. Just, take it slow. Well, what characters do you want to see in the animated Spider-Man movies? Who do you want to see possibly direct them or voice the characters? Let us know in the comments down below. But also, click over here for a very special offer on our Patreon now. You can join our Christmas card or a holiday card, whatever you prefer, and you can actually be on it with us by joining a very specific tier for a limited time. Do not miss out. Click there and click a video right here, or just go to onlystupidanswers.com for all of our podcast information, merch information, Patreon stuff, lots of cool things. Join us live Wednesdays, 4 p.m. PST at twitch.tv/PlayNoggin for our Only Stupid Answers show, and Super TV on Thursdays, 4 p.m. as well.
Thank you.
Bless.